Hello again, everyone. I have been out for many months, but here I am back with some reactions. I've kind of forgotten how to do them. Just going to keep it simple for now, so not too many different elements. Just going to enjoy some music and get used to getting back into some VGM. It's been a while. Haven't listened to a lot in the meantime, so haven't really spoiled more that I can react to. And going to start with some good old Xenoblade. This is one that I'd wanted to do for a long time in the last segment of video making I did last year. Especially just the day and night tracks for the environments are so great. Every single one that I've done so far, though not too many yet, but all of them have been some of my favorites of anything I've heard. And I am deciding that going forward, I'm going to split the day and night tracks into different videos just because I've seen in the past that they are very different usually. So far, rather than seeming like enough of a pure arrangement of the day track for the night, like just a slowing down or softening it, they seem like more so entirely different pieces. If I'm wrong and you would love to see them in one video rather than split apart, then let me know. I just feel like sometimes when there's two in one video that the other tracks that aren't the initial one might not get as much attention, or people might not realize they're there when they're looking for it. So I'm going to try doing the night version of this next as a different reaction, but I'm very excited with it too. I love all the ones I've seen, so I'm excited for this. The suggesters in the past, a few different people said some really good things about it. So yeah, let's break the ice and get back into this. Back up to where, yeah, I just had it a few seconds forward to get the image on the screen, but I did not actually hear any of the audio yet. I didn't actually play it. I appreciate the video visual here. Ooh. Oh, that is so cool. Okay, we're getting some guitar coming in, or another stringed plucked instrument, but first 30 seconds, we just started getting this really interesting atmospheric percussion, very interesting percussion. It could be like something well known in certain musical tradition. It could be just very unique things, because when it comes to percussion, it's one of the most common things to be recorded with just, anything around. You can make sounds with anything. There's a bit of trivia on this track from early Muse that I love called Screenager, where they use like little bones, real bones, to make some of the percussion sounds. You never know. They're very interesting ones here. Almost like a rain stick effect, except clearly not a rain stick. Like, it's less small individual things and it's much larger, but it really gives a spatial sense. There's a lot of recording space and kind of echo to the percussion it brought in. But overall, it's really just setting this ambient feel. Obviously, there's a bit of this exotic sort of traditional approach to the vibe. Really reminds me a lot of areas, especially by the look here, like in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. What is the region that's called? I don't remember, but the large sands area that you get to in Rebirth looks a lot like that, or many other ones. There's areas in Final Fantasy XII that look a lot like this, but don't necessarily sound like it. I really like the initial soundscape, just a few elements, and I'm really just, obviously the most interesting thing so far is that percussion. It drops out, it focuses on that. It's so cool. I'm going to go back to the start, listen to the first 30 seconds again, really take in the vibe, and let the guitar or other, pluck string instrument that's coming in be really well prepared for me. Yeah, I'm just setting this very consistent rhythm in this bass line. A little sad, a little mysterious. Yeah, and then this stuff, it's just so cool. It's also very stereo. Oh my god. The quality of that recording. Lovely. Love that phrase. It rises up at the peak of that kind of melodic arc to the major key in the harmony there, fades back into the somber, ends on the minor, keeps it a little bit mysterious. I haven't played the game, so I'm trying not to look too closely at what's on screen, not get too distracted. In general as well, I find it you'll notice I close my eyes a lot, not just because I'm like feeling the music, but because it's easier to listen fully to it. Like, I go to a lot of symphonies, and when I go to ones that are accompanying films or video game concerts, they oftentimes have screens with visuals. It's a very common experience for me, sometimes also shared by others, that it's very distracting. Like, it's enjoyable to have the multimedia there and to have the context visually, but it's also like you kind of forget there's an orchestra. You get a little bit into the visual more than the music. Sometimes I watch other music reactions, be it contemporary music with music videos or stuff like this, game music that has actual video playing. And sometimes it gets on my nerves a little bit when people are like, oh, I'm just like really distracted by the video, or like they're talking about the video and they haven't really remembered to keep listening to the music. I'm like, I would rather focus on the music. So I'm really doing that. And also maybe not spoiling much for me, because I am absolutely going to play this whole series. Absolutely. So I don't want to see too much about it. But I am like ambiently gazing now and then at what the track is. And because, you know, I don't want my eye line and face to be like, you know, I have to look in this general area for the sake of like recording for the camera. You know, I can't be doing whatever. But yeah, I'm just not focusing on the video. But just the quality of this guitar recording is beautiful. I just went to see a duo Assad, these legendary two brothers, classical guitarists who have been playing together for 60 years. I saw them on their farewell concert this past week, and got back a lot into guitar recordings. I've been listening to their body of work again. They have amazing transcriptions of piano music of Baroque, like Rameau. They have Debussy arrangements. Yeah, it's incredible. So I just got back into guitar, and I keep wishing it was recorded better, because the recordings are great, but they sound nothing like them being run right in front of you live. You know, we were super close. It was incredible. Guitar just sounds different in the physical acoustics. But I wish they were recorded as well as this is, because oh my god, the spatial feel of this guitar is so good. I don't know anything about recording engineering, but everything on Xenoblade is always recorded so pristinely. Yeah, just such a great job on that, on the engineering. And mixing is very, very good. Anyways, you know me, I like to ramble. That's why we're all here. I'm going to back up maybe 15-20 seconds and enjoy this musical phrase again with the guitar. Yeah, and that background synth as well. It's so much empty space to let you lean into it. Yeah, getting our adding energy from percussion, as we often do in a larger space track like this. More elements. A lot of interesting instruments chiming in. A lot of stereo usage. Ooh. It's like a panpipe or something. Just ending on that major, going into the next phrase. I'm going to back up and listen to some of this again. Really cool. Like, they bring in all these different instruments, and They bring in maybe panpipes or something like that, like the little wooden ones that kind of are different lengths that you hold up to your mouth. It's either that or something like that. It has a super breathy tone, not as powerful and pitch forward as something like a flute or some other wind instrument. It's so breathy and airy. Perfect for the whole vibe of all of this. Bringing in different things as more percussion elements, bringing in some things that are more synthetic, a good mix of them. Not really doing the like JRPG area music like with the rock elements at all. Not yet, at least. We might get like maybe the guitar turns into electric later. Maybe we get more like a drum kit percussion or something going on. We might get into higher energy sections. And as always, as I always talk about, don't know how it actually exists in the game. This could be a soundtrackified version where we are getting a blend over time of like the different energy levels. Could be in the game, it's dynamic, and we have higher energy sections that get transitioned into when you're in combat. It can be reactive, responsive. So don't really know. It's fine either way, but I always never assume that I'm hearing exactly what you hear in the game, or particularly like the order or the buildup of things, which usually means sometimes it's very tempting to analyze the music structurally. Certainly repeating myself from past videos, but that's fine. It's a concept I like to bring up enough to reinforce it, that it's very tempting, especially from like a compositional perspective, to want to analyze the structure of pieces. Where are repeating sections? Where is it doing a variation of something from before? How is it building tension in sort of a narrative sense throughout the track? But because you don't really know exactly what you're listening to compared to the game, and to me, the game is the ground truth of the musical experience. The way it exists as you play in that sort of fluid state where for some tracks there is no like one true way you hear it. To me, that is more what the music is. Its true identity, even if that doesn't have one way to hear it, compared to how it exists as a soundtrack track. Sometimes they are the same, though. Sometimes the game is, especially the further back you go in game history, the more common it is that they're the same thing. You are hearing the track that's looped in the game. Maybe it has an intro section that is not included in the loop, but otherwise you could be saying you're hearing like the core track. But back to my main point, it's tempting to analyze the structure, but I also hold back because I don't always know what version of this musical experience I'm hearing, how authentic it is to the game. So don't dive as deep as I could into like, oh, it built up here and it reached this energy. What an interesting choice by the composer. It may not have been the composer choice. This is just how it was made for the soundtrack as a later project that isn't the main thing. Anyways, tangent ending. I will go back talking about the music. We backed up like 15-20 seconds because they have these pipes coming in, taking more of a role consistently and doing a bit of a duet with the guitar. And I think it's quite neat that they are interplaying where the guitar, I'll point out when, but the guitar changes to some arpeggiation as like a supportive or harmonic supportive role for the pipes, but they kind of go back and forth with it. Then the guitar will do a little bit of melodic content or perhaps counterpoint, maybe not the primary melodic content. It's hard to say which one's in the lead because the guitar is prominent, but they both are doing a bit of a duet, and I just think that's super neat. It's not often you hear those two instruments duetting like that. Yeah, right there, it arpeggiates the guitar. And a little more. Ooh. Some real echoey percussion. Huge spatial feel. Yeah, a little bit of keys coming in. Typical beautifully recorded Xenoblade piano sound on those. Those strings on that major harmony really just amplify it. Maybe cello, maybe viola. Get some piano arpeggios up there. Ooh, I like the rhythmic nature of this phrase in the guitar. It's recorded so clearly. Sounds so good. Well, that was interesting. Ooh, kind of a bit of a, like, that was even new just a second ago, kind of a buzzy crashing percussion, almost where I want to say it's like a glitchiness to like the track quality on the soundtrack posting on YouTube. Not sure. Probably not. It probably is intended. It's just funny how like kind of a little bit glitchy, buzzy that percussion just sounded. But yeah, we get this interesting like sweeping up, like sliding, very unique sound build up, as sort of a drop. But I was really expecting it was going to be a drop into even more of a rock section. But no, we have not gotten like electric guitar yet. We haven't really gotten rock instrumentation. Which I'm happy with. Like I like it, and I also like not having it. It depends. I just like variety. So when it's not what I expect, leans even more towards appreciating it. But it's also not bad if it does what I expect. It's just kind of nice when it surprises you. Besides music, art in general, but especially music, is a lot about playing with expectation. That's what the tension and release is. That's how Western harmony works, and non-Western harmony also in their own way, but just like very extensively studied the way that it works with, you know, your ear, your internal ear, your brain, your sense of music is all playing with like expectation, anticipation for cadences. There's all this stuff. There's you know, it gets more and more nuanced as people are more and more familiar with music to a greater extent of people are expecting a certain structure, and then you change the structure. People are used to a certain instrumentation. You do something different. It's always part of it, and it's always kind of a gradual cultural discussion going on artistically at all times, even though no two people have the same experience. But there is an overall kind of consensus general experience evolving over time with music about, you know, a certain point in time, composers are aware of what people might be expecting and aware of what subverts that, either a little bit or a lot, depending on what their goals are and what their style is, how aware they are of those trends. Not everybody has the same exposure to it. But, you know, it's generational, and it goes in phases. In 50 years, game music is going to have different things it knows people expect and that it might play against. And it's not all just fads and stuff. It's very nuanced. But I guess it goes with all art, goes with game design. We're in a phase right now where we're already past where like roguelike elements are an unexpected thing that's kind of neat to see. Now they're almost expected. It's almost cooler if you like find a way to subvert the roguelike elements because there's so much of a trend now. Anyways, same with music. Kind of cool that I keep thinking it'll do rock. Isn't really. But this big like whooshing sliding buildup that I'm definitely going back to hear again doesn't actually drop into like a lot of intensity. It added or maintained a lot of percussion and space with it, but it moved into a keyboard focus section, which is great. Like more subtle, but just more keyboard prominent with other instruments dropping out from what I remember. I'll go back to here. Maybe I'll cut that. Yeah, just the single note plucking so clearly. Now I get this. Yeah. A little more keys. Yeah, that kind of crashing percussion. Still don't know if that's intended. It's kind of neat. A little bit of piano solo, a little ornamentation. Kind of cool climb up harmonically there. Whoa. Okay. So we're getting not only a keyboard forward section, we're getting the guitar very prominently, but really we're changing styles entirely from the last few minutes. Guitar's going into more interesting soloing and a little bit more stylistic play that sounds incredible. Once again, guitar recorded so well in this track, and every time it shows up in Xenoblade, guitar, piano, everything else, of course, but like those two, I really always remember as being beautifully recorded. there's some soundtracks that just have such good recording engineering on some instruments and how they mix them as well. Everybody involved doing a great job, like Expedition 33's, piano and vocals and strings are so well recorded. Xenoblade, I really just, the guitar, piano, when it comes to like Nier Automata, also guitar, recorded so incredibly well there. It's one of the most satisfying things to hear recorded that well. So it's great to hear it starting to do a little bit more of its own ornamentation. The piano is kind of taking off. It's doing a little bit of, some semi-virtuosic stuff up there. It's still quite quiet. It starts to be a little supportive or background to the really prominent guitar. But they're both like becoming more beautiful at the same time. It's really cool. I was like, I have to stop, talk about it, and go back. Piano chords. Still get that buzzy percussion. Yes. Great come down. We're not that close to the end necessarily. Oh, good. We get this again. A little bit of that percussion. Nice. Because I kind of want more of that space and percussion. It brought it back a little, but it's so good. We don't really get enough of it. Just a teaser. Yeah, similar to the earlier section, but it just sounds so good. Yeah, we get this little wood pipes and guitar duet again. It's just this exact part, also one of my favorite moments in this track. We're going to get a fade out, probably because we've looped around to the earlier part again, minus the intro. Yeah, man, that was excellent. I, can't really do much more of an overall review than how much I've already rambled about it, but yeah, fantastic track. Once again, great. Some of these are like, maybe they wouldn't hit as hard if they weren't recorded as well. That's not to say that there's anything lacking compositionally. It's more to say that I think there are other tracks from other games that are just as good compositionally, but don't hit as hard or are as enjoyable as some tracks from, say, some of these Xenoblade series games, just because of the difference of the recording quality. Like, audio-wise, it just stands out. They're great compositions as well, but I think they get even more chance to shine, which is wonderful. I mean, you wish every composition was able to be shown in its best light. That even goes for like classical compositions, where it depends on like, does it get the chance to be played and recorded and interpreted by a pianist in a way that is like, there is no one ideal way. It's always going to be something personal, but like a way that is at a high enough level that it really lets this piece shine. Not everything gets that chance, especially for composers who are not, A-list people. Yeah, so similarly, a game that like really gets the benefit of this excellent recording and engineering and mixing, it just lets them be enjoyed to the degree that they deserve. And I think that's why Xenoblade keeps hitting every time. It was a really great track. I absolutely will put it on the playlist. We're bringing this back. And this time I actually will be making playlists. Before I was kind of building up enough to want to make them, and I was just really kind of making up this whole thing on the fly. I was like, oh, it would be cool if I made some playlists. I kept like messing around with this idea, but now I do think I have enough to start like making and sharing some of these playlists. Probably have to do it in a way where they're like delisted and I just have the links in places for people. Maybe make a little site for it, because I already have plenty of playlists visible on my page to help categorize and catalog things from different series, so people can go and enjoy those in one place. I think that's super useful. I don't want to necessarily clutter that with these, but I don't know. If anybody's listening still and has an opinion on this, feel free to comment and let me know if you think I should make these playlists available, and if they should be unlisted and have a place where people can click the links and find them themselves, or if you don't mind if these are part of all the playlists on my channel and kind of clutter it. Anyways, where are we going with this? Some things like the Cent Omnia region were like orchestrated energy is a category I put a lot of Xenoblade stuff in. I'm not so sure this is the category for this. It gains energy by way of adding instruments and percussion at some points and like detail in their play. This is closer to calm and stimulating, I would say. Like, I don't really have like desert tracks, but I certainly could, because if I did, then I would be adding, let me move this OBS window so I can see what's actually visible to you guys. Where's the FF7 Rebirth track on here? Oh, I probably didn't add it because I didn't really have a section for it. But there was one of the tracks for the Gi in their village that would have fit with this if we wanted to do like kind of desert tracks. But yeah, it didn't really fit with anything here. What do I think? Most of it is calm and stimulating. There's sections that get a little bit more intense, but I think that goes for most of this too. I think even like Gapra Whitewood, no, this one's pretty calm, or at least like stimulatingly calm. I don't know. I think tracks like Wretched Weaponry get some intensity at some points. Certainly ones like The Great would do, but it's more foresty. These are very similar categories, but Beautiful Tranquility is just an even more calm vibe. I do have ones that I didn't figure out where they fit, to be fair. So I always have the option to just put things here and figure out later. But yeah, I think it's between these two, and I'm going to put it in calm and stimulating. That's kind of what I got out of this, and I also feel like it's kind of neat to have the first Xenoblade track here, because this is all Xenoblade only so far. Hopefully these get more variety as I get to explore more stuff and have different suggestions. But I will correct this to the current track, which is Eagus Wilderness. And as always, it always bolds this again. I will probably just make my own app to do this instead of using Notion. But for now, it's kind of a pretty thing for the playlists. Well, that's going to do it. Thanks for hanging out for my first reaction back. I'm not sure if I'm going to like record others now or soon and kind of do a batch. I think for sure this will be the first one, though. It'll make more sense because I'm making references to it being the first video back. But yeah, keeping it simple. I don't have anything else set up to like record other piano or record keyboard. Not necessarily going to do any other editing right now, but I will get back into it. I'll get back into figuring out the formula, doing more of the formula I did before. Right now I'm just chatting at the end of the video for those who want to stick around and hear me talk about the channel a little bit. Might make like a channel update or FAQ video. Haven't done one of those. But yeah, I am hoping to have in the works like a mix of different category / series tracks to do kind of one of each when coming back, get some and schedule them ahead and see if I can keep up with it a little bit. Not having too much expectations to make great videos. These are going to be very imperfect, you know, as always. They're all spontaneous reactions. They're very similar to doing a stream. It's just that I do also take editing time, and I do try to I shoot them like videos. They're not at all streams, but they are kind of that vibe. Like a little bit of it is on the fly, but I do actually like watch entirely through each one, edit, try to fix some things. I just try not to obsess over it, but it can take a lot of time. It can take definitely more time to edit and post something than it takes to film it. Say if I have a 30-minute video to film, it could take 2 hours of work to edit it and thumbnail and set up for YouTube and all that. Would love to make that process faster, and I am working on ways for that, but ultimately it's kind of important to do. I do want there to be a sense that these are videos I've put the effort into, really recording and at least doing some quality passes on. So yeah, that makes it a little bit slower to put out, but anyways, I'm not worrying too much about that. Like, who knows, maybe I'll post this one and I won't post another one for another 6 months, but I do have lots I would like to do. I'd like to do one from each of a different set of series and categories, and a second music quiz. I definitely want to do that. I'm in the process of picking what tracks I want to do. I don't know if I'm going to do themes for future music quizzes. I did JRPGs for the first one, just to help people have a space to guess within, since it was pretty hard. I'm not sure if I would do themes in the future though, because I think I like so much music from JRPGs because they have such great music. I don't know if I would have another thing as viable as a category. I could do I don't know, I guess I could brainstorm it, because I could do, for example, Nintendo as a category. It's just that the tracks I want to do for the next one are quite varied, so I might just be oh, there's no theme. I dropped that concept. They're not in a category. It just felt fun to have themed videos in the music quiz series. Anyways, thank you so much. I've really appreciated all the comments I've gotten in the meantime, and as you might have seen, I put a community post out to kind of update on maybe coming back, and it's been really encouraging. It's really nice to know that people do enjoy my videos. I get, very accurate criticisms from now and then from people who aren't sure if they think the format is good, or if I, talk too much or don't listen through. And these are all super valid. I have a very imperfect approach, and I'm still really a beginner. So I always welcome all the comments and criticisms. Thankfully, I seem to have enough people as well who do particularly enjoy the way I already do it. So I'm happy to have that audience. And thank you for still checking out my videos in the meantime. And I see the trickle of views continually. It's not many, but it's nice to see things are still, alive on life support in the meantime. And of course, being past 1,000 subscribers, it does mean that I'm monetized. So I do actually get to get paid a little bit for making these videos. It's pennies, but it's cool to do. If I actually have some consistency and this goes really well, then maybe I will end up having some sort of a crowdfunding, Patreon, some tip tier to get suggestions fast-tracked to the front of the line. As it is so far, I just take people's suggestions. I tally the ones I get from the most people. I pick based on that, and it depends what I feel is going to be a good idea. I think about what is interesting to me, first of all, what I think is a good variety, what I think people would really like to see or are really waiting on, what might help grow the channel. A lot of things that are in mind to pick from the 500 different tracks that I have as suggestions, and stuff that I want that isn't even suggested. I just have my own desires of what to check out. So who knows? But yeah, if I am consistent, then you might end up having the option to do some kind of tip or subscribe in some way to have me tackle your suggestions sooner. I will keep those options open as I go forward. For now, though, no way to give me money, please. I am way too inconsistent to deserve money for this, but it is nice that the videos are monetized now. That's super cool. Anyways, I'm going to leave this end yapping in as a little channel chat. I would like to do more or have a better script for a video, but it's fine. This is just the end of one. I'm sure if people are fans, they might stick around and be like, oh, it's kind of curious what my thoughts are on the current situation. Anyways, I will see you in more upcoming videos as I gradually expand back to more of the process I had before. And thank you so much to anybody who watched. Who knows if this video will even, be sent out to the algorithm. I don't really care. It's fine if this gets, 20 views or 1,000. Who cares? It was really fun. Great track. Looking forward to the next one, especially the night version of this. And I will see you next time. Peace.